I'm Jerad Hill, and I help small businesses grow and engage their customer base. Today, we're going to be talking about 5 ways that you can get more Google reviews for your business. Google reviews are very important. Most people use Google when they're searching for a small business, and they will look at the Maps review and the Maps like 3-pack or 4-pack or whatever that shows the nearest businesses, and they'll make their decision based off of the information that's right in front of them. Usually the business name, maybe how close it is to them, and how many reviews it says that they have. People just want to make the best decision possible. So they might click on that, they might look at some of the reviews, but Google also uses the reviews as a ranking factor. So those with a more optimized Google business profile and those that have more reviews are probably going to rise to the top of that list. And so getting Google reviews is extremely important, but most people aren't just waiting to give you business reviews online. You need to make the ask, and that can be kind of tricky. I know that I've gone into businesses, they've done a good job. There's a little plaque on their counter that says review us on Google, and I think like, oh yeah, I'll do that later, and then I just never remember. I might not ever remember to review them, or maybe if they're lucky and it was a really good experience and I'm still remembering later on in the day, I might do it. But most of the time I forget. We just get busy. And so it's important to make it extremely easy for people to review you. So the first thing, make it extremely easy. Google business profiles have a easy link under reviews where it says ask for reviews. There's a little link that you can put everywhere so that it makes it really easy for people to access that. That link can be put in emails. It can be put at the bottom of your receipt or invoice. There are many different ways that you can get that link over to people. Literally printing it out and putting it on the counter, it's too weird of a link. People aren't going to sit there and tap it out, but there are different things that you can do, like turn that into a QR code, and then people can scan the QR code really easily and it will open it up right on their phone and they could tap out a review for you really easily. So there's lots of different ways that you can do that. There's also NFC cards where somebody can just tap their phone on the little NFC thing and it will open it up on their phone. There's so many different creative ways that you can make it easy for people to write reviews. And so it is the best time to make that ask when you have the person's attention. As they leave, it's going to get harder and harder as time goes by to get that Google review. So if there's an opportunity for you to ask them to scan that QR code so that it opens up Google on their phone and they can write a review, whether it's now or at least the window's opened on their phone so they can do it maybe in an hour or two when they get home, whatever the case may be, making it easy for them to do that is extremely important. Number 2 is to ask for a review at the right moment. If a customer comes to your business and the transaction is started and finished maybe in the same day or the same time frame that they're there, asking them for a review when they leave or when they're about to leave is probably okay. But if it's a drawn out period of time, like say you're an auto body repair shop and somebody just dropped off their vehicle, asking them for a review when their vehicle hasn't been repaired yet is probably not the best idea. So we want to be thinking about how and when we ask for a review, and also just being aware of when maybe it's not appropriate to ask for a review. And that just really comes down to maybe the vibe that the customer has, their emotions, and the things that are going on at that time. If you're a grief counselor, to use an extreme situation, you're probably not going to ask for a review after the end of a person's first appointment because they're just emotional, dealing with all these emotions and stuff like that. And to ask for a Google review while they're still processing those emotions, probably not the best idea. So think about when it would be appropriate for you to ask for reviews based on the type of products or services that you're providing your customers. And you can use the same methods, making it easy for them to review, but you want it also to be timely and make sense based on where the customer's at and what the customer's experience is. Number 3 is to follow up with the customers. Now, if you don't like asking for the Google review while you still have the customer's attention, a lot of us don't really like doing that. There are ways to automate the follow-up process and get reviews. I've made videos on this in the past and have set this up for many of my clients, a 3-part touch process where an email goes out that thanks the customer for their business, maybe even gives them a couple things on follow-up after their appointment. And then there's a link to review them and we ask for the review. And in that email, I specifically say to the customer, your opinion matters. Like I'm asking you specifically, like your opinion matters to us And your opinion matters to us because it will help other people make the best decision possible. And then we're framing the customer as an authority figure in being able to bring us business. And that brings them a sense of importance and a sense of purpose behind writing their review. And so I ask that in the first email, and then there's a link. And if they don't respond to that email by clicking on the link, then a day later, they will get another email that just says a little bit more information about writing the review. Like, well, we really do hope that you had a great experience. Your review is super important. I don't know if you read any reviews before choosing to do business with us, but they're so important to the success of a business and helping other people make the best decision possible. Hopefully that email is the one that triggers them to go and write a review, because most people are not against writing reviews. Most people are just busy and will want to do it later. And they put it off and then they forget, because I don't know if your inbox is like mine. It's a disaster, and I'll save a few emails that I want to make sure I follow up on. But unless it's like a red siren going off, I may forget, and that email might just fall to the bottom of my inbox over time. Now, if they don't click on that second email, then we'll send them a third email the next day just saying, hey, we don't want to keep bothering you. We really do hope that your experience was good. Perhaps you haven't written your review yet because your experience was less than desirable. And so while we would still love to hear about your experience, you can either reply to this email or you can continue and give us a Google review. But if something's stopping you from doing that, that's okay. This is going to be the last email that we will send you on this topic, so that we're not bothering you. So the vibe of this last email is maybe even a little bit self-conscious sounding, where we're like, oh, we really do hope that you had a good experience, and we're sorry if you didn't, but we want your review. And then this hopefully is triggering in the person that feeling of like, no, actually I had a great experience. I'm sorry I got really busy. I'm going to do it right now. And then they jump on it and they write that review. Now, over 80% of the people who end up writing reviews clicked on the second email. All it took was that second email. So they never even got the third email because they clicked on the second email. But there is a small percentage of people that make it to the third email, and that email has an over 90% click rate to the Google Business link to write a review, because they're feeling bad for having put it off, and that email is the last one. There's only a few people that will make it through all three emails and still not do anything at all. And so that type of sequence works really well. And because it's an email, it feels maybe a little less personal than if it was a text message. If we were doing text messages, obviously it would be much shorter, and I wouldn't try to pull on heartstrings along the way, just because text messaging feels a little bit different. And we don't want to accidentally come across needy through a text message, because people just have different emotions and pull different vibes out of text messages than they do emails. So personally, I prefer to use emails for this type of interaction, but with SMS marketing being more popular, I could easily see the first email being a text message instead, or perhaps even the last one being a text message with maybe some SMS/email integrated in there through the process of making the ask for reviews. You can also promote this on your website or through social media. If you engage a lot with your customers on your website or through social media, you can always make the ask for reviews there too. If you're a high volume business that sees a lot of customers, perhaps a review us button on the website makes sense. Or if you have a list of your reviews, underneath that you can say review us, and people can click on that button and go straight to Google to write a review. But sometimes even just simply having reviews there, whether they be on your website, social media, or perhaps both, will make people who have done business with you want to leave a review as well, because they'll see somebody else's review. It'll remind them of their experience, and they will want to take their experience and share it online also. So you might not necessarily even need to make the ask for a review using your website or social media. The simple presence of those reviews there may prompt people to write a review of their own. Number 5 is to respond to those reviews and to showcase positive feedback. When somebody writes a review in Google, you have the opportunity to respond to that review. And I encourage responding to every review, whether good or bad. I think it's important to respond. And so when people go and look at your Google reviews and they see that you respond, they're more likely going to write their own review, because it lets them know that you actually saw that review, that they're not just putting some bit of information out there into Google. You're actually seeing these reviews and you're responding to them. And so that's important for somebody to know, especially if they're going to take their time to write a review. And it's also important to showcase positive feedback. You can take screenshots of those reviews and post them on social media or showcase them on your website. And this lets people know that those reviews are important. And when somebody sees a review that they wrote shared on social media, they're thinking like, wow, that was really cool. Like they loved what I had to say so much about my experience that they shared it on social media. And so this is not only good for the person who wrote the review, but it's good for people that are seeing the reviews as well, because those reviews are coming from real people. They wrote them in Google, and we're using social media to showcase and promote our happy customers to the rest of our audience. So those are 5 ways that you can grow your customer reviews in Google. If you implemented all of these strategies in a way that makes sense for your business, I guarantee you'll see more Google reviews instantaneously. And with more Google reviews will become a better overall experience for potential new customers when they're searching for businesses like yours in Google. This is something we encourage all of our clients that are local businesses to do and help them integrate into their systems or help them set up systems so that they can achieve this on their own. But that's going to do it for this one. I hope that you learned something interesting today. Thank you for being here. Click that subscribe button and I'll see you back in another one.